folks, today's video, I wanted to do a get ready with me using some new makeup that I bought recently and also talk about
anime.
This is the second time I've attempted to film this video today because the first attempt, my winged liner got so big that I just wanted to throw my computer on the floor. I'm so annoyed with myself. We're doing it again, so if my face looks a little bit red, it's because I just washed all my makeup off.
Ah!
Also, I just got my period, so like, I'm gonna take my mind off it by talking about anime and like the only content I've been consuming lately besides like Loki, YouTube stuff, and I don't know, Sims content. I've been wanting to make this video for a while because, like I said, it's been like the only thing that I've been consuming for the last like 2 months. Otherwise, like most of the music I've been listening to has been from animes. Once I started, I couldn't stop. So we're just gonna talk about some animes that I love, the ones that I've found to be my favorites. And we'll go in kind of an order, that way in case you don't want to be spoiled about specific ones, I'll have like timestamps in the description. So we'll be talking about Blue Exorcist, Death Note, Initial D, Black Clover, and Fruits Basket, because I just finished it yesterday and I have a lot of feelings. So many feelings. That's why I didn't film this video last night, because last night I was gonna film it, but then I remembered that I took an edible an hour before and I was like, ooh, no, I'm high. And then it got too late and I fell asleep, and then Josh and I watched like 4 episodes of Fruits Basket. So like, you know, sometimes you just have to do a rain check for a different day, and that's what this is, a rain check. Let's just fucking put some fucking foundation on, shall we? Okay. So we're gonna start with Blue Exorcist, because I have the manga right back here. I have the first 2. I have the first 2 and then the 9th one, because I thought about just starting where the anime left off, but then people are like, no, you should just read the whole thing, and I'm like, okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. Some of my Auric Glow Lust. I like mixing this with my foundation, just like a little dab. And this is in the shade Morganite. And this is the original Morganite. I think they changed the formula and the color recently. I'm not sure how different it is, but this is the original Morganite from when they launched it months ago. But Blue Exorcist. I'd watched a handful of other ones, a handful of other animes before we started watching Blue Exorcist, and before I really fell in love with it. We'd watched Sword Art Online, and that was like the first one I liked when we first started it, and there were definitely some arcs along the way and some character relationships that I was like, maybe not. And I think more and more now that I've watched other animes that I really liked, the less and less I enjoy SAO, because I just didn't have anything to compare it to when we first started watching it. So I was like,
oh, this is good.
Because I didn't have a lot to compare it to. And I liked the first arc, don't get me wrong, like the first little bit, but then it just got like overly complicated. Like the Alfheim Online stuff was weird. When Asuna got kidnapped and put in a cage, it got way too dark and like questionable for me. We've since watched Alicization, which I like too, but Blue Exorcist was really the first one that I really fell in love with, and I just got so attached to the characters and just, oh, I love it so much. And if you've never read it or watched it, there's only 37 episodes, which is both a blessing and a curse, because a blessing, you get to finish it early, but a curse in that there's so much story left to tell, because the Kyoto Saga, the end of the last season that's made, only goes up through I think volume 9 of the books, and there's like 25 volumes, and I was like, are you kidding? There were 16 volumes for us to keep making content about, but no. Makes me very sad because I love the characters. Rin is great, Yukio is great, Bon, Shura, Shiemi, oh, everybody's just a great character, and it's a show about the son of Satan. The son of Satan, who wants to become an exorcist to kick Satan's ass.
Remember, this must never be drawn.
I'll do what you said. I won't use Satan's power. I'm gonna use my head to fight him instead.
And the soundtrack is amazing. The soundtrack, that was like the first anime that I really started listening to the opening theme as like just music to listen to. The first one is from Overworld, I think, and then the second one is from a band called like Rookies Are Punked or something. Yeah, if I counted up the number of times I've listened to those songs, it would be a lot. I can't wait to keep keep on the story of Blue Exorcist because, like I said, I got so attached to the characters. And one thing that I've noticed in watching that one and other ones is I just gravitate towards the stories where it's about like chosen family and about like sticking up for your friends and like working with your friends against all odds and just protecting them. So like it can get dark for sure, but at its core, it's about friendship and brotherhood and protecting your chosen family. There's really not much like fan service in it. Like there's a couple things here and there, but they don't bother me. Please don't spoil me if I haven't finished a series, especially that one, because I really don't know anything about later on. It started a long time ago. The anime came out, the first one came out in like 2011, and then the second one came out in 2017. So like we're about time to have a new season 5-6 years later. So hopefully that comes, but I'm not holding my breath. I love it. I love it. I've watched it so many times now. We'll turn it on just any old day where we're like, we just want to turn something on that we can turn our brain off, but something that is familiar and comfortable. Like it's one of my comfort shows now. I love it so much. And I am very excited to read the manga because from what people have told me, it gets wild after the anime finished, which makes me even more mad why they didn't keep making the anime. It's like, what the fuck? Why? What? This is my first manga I've ever bought. Like I bought some of Blue Exorcist and some of Black Clover, but a bunch of my friends in high school read manga. Like a ton of my friends in high school did. And I was one of the only people who didn't. Back then, I had all these like preconceived notions about the ones that they were reading. And like one of my friends gave me Chobits to read and I didn't really like it, didn't really gravitate towards it, and so I kind of just brushed off reading graphic novels and manga after that because I didn't like the one that they showed me because I was young and stupid, and I feel like I've robbed myself from like an entire like kind of entertainment and genre of content that I could just have been consuming all along and could have been really enjoying as like a young person. But no, I found it as like a 30-year-old woman. You know? It happens. Let me put on my eyeshadow base. The next one that I really, really, really loved is Death Note. That's more recent, obviously, in the last few months, but I literally bought the soundtrack on vinyl. I've listened to the music so many times. I'm obsessed with it. I'll probably buy the manga just because of what people have told me that the manga is even better than the anime. And it's short. Like, it's also 37 episodes, but, like, that's the end of the series. Like, it's, like, 37 episodes was it. And I think there's 12 books. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I've definitely looked up on, like, eBay and Mercari for secondhand copies of things, because if a book is still in print and the author and the artist are still creating it, I want to buy new ones. But if it's like a book and a series that's like done and been done for a long time, I'll be more inclined to buy it secondhand because it's cheaper that way. But if it's something is still in print and still wanting to be written and still the story is happening, I would be much more inclined to buy it new to like support the art. So, okay, that's good. I'm gonna do my cheeks before I do my eyes, because the eyes are what took me so damn long before. And I got upset with myself. I just got mad at myself and I was like, I can't get that fucking eyeliner. But Death Note is so fascinating. Like, just, it was so different from any of the other ones that we had watched. And it's dark, it's like mysterious, it's got like noir aspects to it. The soundtrack is absolute perfection. The voice cast is really good.
I'm not only Kira, but I am also God of the New World.
I've been watching mostly dubs, and Death Note is probably one that I'll end up watching subbed because it is shorter, and I've heard that the voice cast in the original, like the original Japanese voice cast, is like fucking awesome, and specifically the guy that plays Light. And since it's short, it's easier to kind of rewatch things with a new pair of ears, if that makes sense. But most of the stuff that I have watched have been dubbed, and have been dubbed with like mostly Funimation voice actors, which has been really fun because I can, like, one of my favorite things to do now when watching an anime is like picking out a voice and being like, I know that voice, who else do they play? And then immediately going to IMDb. Initial D, Ryosuke Takahashi, has the same voice actor as Fuego Leon Vermilion in Black Clover, who is J. Michael Tatum.
If you're ready to know why, I'll tell you. But you have much to learn.
There's just a handful of people that have been in so many different things that I like kind of spotting it and listening to it. Definitely, like, when we first started watching Black Clover and I heard Fuego Leon speak, I was like, oh, that's Ryosuke Takahashi. And I feel like any time after I watch any of those, I'll just automatically think of him as Ryosuke because he has such a distinct and like powerful voice. Which brings me to Initial D, which was a surprise love for me. But it was one that Josh loved and watched and grew up watching. And I mean, he's a car guy, so like it was definitely right up his alley. Like Initial D and Fast and Furious were like his thing. Tokyo Drift would not have existed without Initial D. And it's such a fun show. The music, again, is fantastic, but in a different way. Like it's a bunch of Eurobeat and it's just loud and fast. And it's totally different than any other one that I've watched. I mean, like Death Note, it's not like magical. It's based in reality. It's based in a real world place. And there's no like supernatural magical power type thing going on. It's just a kid that gets really good at racing, just gets really good at street racing. And I was surprised at anybody else that I really liked it because I'm usually not a car person. But after watching it, like I appreciate it more. And again, the character actors and the voice actors are great. Like I love the Takahashi brothers. Like, Ryosuke and Keisuke are so fucking cool. They're so cool. Ryosuke was Fuego Leon. Bunta, Takumi's dad, is in another one that I'm going to talk about shortly. Keisuke, actually, the voice actor of Keisuke is the same guy as the main character from Fairy Tail, I think. But he's been in a couple other things that I've watched. He played like a small part in Black Clover. But it is just very fun to hear these voices in various places and knowing which characters they connect to. I'm such a dork for that stuff. And I'm like, voice actors are fucking amazing. Like the kind of wizardry and witchcraft that these voice actors can achieve is amazing. Like, so good. Holy shit. Okay, now I think I want to do my blush. I want to do like kind of an e-girl blush because I'm attempting to do a graphic liner thing with these Glisten Cosmetics cake liners that I'm not very good at. Like, so not good at that I had to scrap the first time I filmed this half an hour ago. So we're gonna attempt it again, but let's do some blush first. I have my clown blush from Likely Makeup that I love, that I haven't used a lot lately. Little blush brush. But yeah, Initial D has been one that I've loved, and we haven't really been able to finish it yet because they don't have the 5th and final stages on any of the platforms that we have. We have the Funimation app and Hulu and Netflix and stuff, and I also don't think that they did a Funimation dub version of those stages. Like, I don't think that there is an English dub of the 5th and final stages. I'm pretty sure they're just in Japanese, which is fine. I just have gotten so used to hearing specific voices play specific characters, which is why I haven't just gone and watched the subbed versions of things that are like the end bits, if that makes sense. But Initial D, I mean, it's about car racing. It's pretty straightforward. There's nothing that's like crazy spoilery. It's about a kid that like works for his dad's tofu shop, and then he just gets really good at racing these downhills like the mountains of Japan because he has to drive all the time, and he just becomes like a street racing legend, you know.
Whoa! What the hell? Inertia drift.
But yeah, I love Initial D. I can watch it so many times. It's so easy to consume, and just like the music is so good. And the memes, I get the memes now. I remember when I first started watching it, and I was like, oh, I get what the deja vu and like Eurobeat intensifies. Like, I understand the memes now. And it's just fun. It's fun. I enjoy it. I'm using one of the, my Midas blush brushes. Haven't used this a whole lot, but I really like it. I just tend to use a bigger blush brush usually, but I wanted to use a tinier one because I wanted to have more, like, specific blush placement with this look. Sunburn, but make it fashion. Let's attempt this
for a second time.
So I got the purple and pink split liners. Like I said, I'm not good at this, so I will make no promises. So hopefully it's not as much of a fail as it was the first time, because that was super annoying. Which brings me to the next anime we're going to talk about, which is Black Clover, which is the one that I desperately do not want any spoilers. That's the one that I really give a shit about spoilers, so please don't. Because all the subbed versions, all the subtitled episodes are available to watch on Crunchyroll, but I've gotten so attached to these characters over 160 episodes that I'm not about to just like randomly switch up to who's saying things. You know, that's part of why I don't like switching it up in the middle of things, because it's like I get so used to people sounding a certain way that if I were to finish this series with the different cast, it wouldn't be right. You know, it wouldn't be right, okay? Let me attempt this. Okay. It's also a glisten brush. I bought some of the glisten liner brushes because I didn't have any of these. So we're gonna attempt that today. Well, that's better than before. Okay, that's not bad. Okay. Oh, that's better. That's way better. I don't think I had the consistency right before. I think that was my problem, is that like it didn't have the right like water. I didn't have the right water to product ratio. Oh, that's so much better. Still doesn't quite. Oh, well, it's not gonna match. Okay, I'm not gonna fuck with it. I'm just gonna leave it as is. Do not want to fuck with it. I'm not going to mess with this. I'm going to put on my regular black liner, match up with it. Oh god. Okay, that's so much. Well, no, actually, I should put on the highlighty thing that I wanted to put on. I'm taking my Diamond Dasher highlighter from Kaleidos. Just kind of putting that in the center of the lid to give some sparkle. Also on the inner corner of the eye. Oh, that's better. That's so much better. But, Black Clover. Now, I have seen an unnecessary amount of hate towards this show on the internet, which is very frustrating because I love it so very much. And I feel like a lot of the hate that it gets is like very superficial things of people not liking the voice actor who plays Asta in Japanese, or not liking his character design because he's like not like the other guys. Like, he's not like a Kirito or a Rin. He's like a fucking beefy short king that's loud and annoying.
Why are you sticking your nose in this, you know?
Because you're noisy, you're short, you lack both composure and tolerance.
But I got so attached to this show so quickly. The more I watched it, the more I got attached to these characters in a way that I just, it surprised me. Like, how much I love these characters and how much I care about them. Like, it's weird. Like, when I was younger, my mom always used to like make a joke that like I had TV friends, that she was like, are you gonna go hang out with your TV friends? Because I would just really like TV shows. Like, I watched Grey's Anatomy in high school, and mom was like, are you gonna hang out with your TV friends, George and Meredith and Izzy? And it was like, that was my thing. I was much more into TV than movies when I was younger because I could kind of stick with these characters for longer periods of time. Where like with film, you would watch a movie, whether it, like if it wasn't a franchise, you would watch a movie, care about the characters, the end of the movie, that's done. But with TV shows, there was just a longer time to really develop attachments to characters. And that, I think, is what has happened with Black Clover, because I've watched 160 episodes. Like, we watched 160 episodes in like such a short amount of time that like, I really give a shit. Where's my highlighty brush? There we go. But like, I don't think I could watch the...
Oh, fucking A, are you kidding me?
Did my eyeliner just do that? Are you serious? Are you serious? That is infuriating. Oh, that's frustrating. Oh, that's so frustrating. I was done. I was done with the look. Oh, are you kidding me? Well, while I wait for it to dry, Black Clover, I love it. I love it, and I feel like the voice cast is so well cast. Like, Yami is perfect.
Get your ass over here, mushroom head.
Asta, the guy that plays Asta, Dallas Reed, is so good. Like, he's so good for Asta and just does it really well. Yuno is such a well-developed, like, all of them. All of the characters are great. And again, like Blue Exorcist, it's about chosen family and about, like, sticking up for your friends and fighting with your friends and, like, fighting to become better and to better yourself and to better the people around you, which I really, really love and connect to because it's wholesome and it's fast-paced and it's funny. Like, now that we have, 10 more episodes left to go of the dubbed version, like, week by week, coming out on Funimation, I have to wait for 10 weeks to finish the story. I'm like, why couldn't I have gotten into this show, like, a couple months later? Like, now I have to wait for the end of the series. And I don't know if they're gonna finish it. I don't know if they're gonna continue it. Like, I hope they do. I hope they continue it because I feel like that there's so much more story to tell. But the surprises and the twists and the turns, Asta's such a good main character. Like, a lot of people just hate on him because of how loud he is. I love Asta. Like, he's so... he's just working hard and he wants to be better. He wants to become better as, like, a magicless short king in a world where magic means everything. Probably my favorite arcs of Black Clover were the underwater temple arc and the one in the witch going to the Queen of Witches when Dark Asta finally came out completely, which was so cool. Like, that whole transformation, oh, it was so freaking cool.
My magic is never giving up.
It just makes me happy. It's another comfort show now that it just makes me happy. One of my favorite things specifically was just, like, finding all the different voice actors. Like, Yami, his voice actor, Christopher Sabat, he is one of the characters in the next anime I'll talk about. And then, like I said, Fuegoleon is the same voice actor as Ryosuke Takahashi from Initial D, which has been really fun because they're so similar of being, like, the supportive but tough older brother that, like, really just wants everybody to be better and knows best all the time. Like, he's basically the same person, but one has magic and one is just a really good street racer. What other voice actors? Like, the voice actor for Magna is in another one, the next one, the last one I'll talk about. Oh, and then Licht, the lead elf, like the main elf. His voice actor is so good too, which is one of the main characters in the last anime that I'm gonna talk about too. Just, I love it. I love it. And then the music, oh my god, I didn't even talk about the music. The music in the show is good. Like, don't get me wrong, the music in the show is good, but the opening and endings are so good. Like, they have some of the best openings. The songs are great. The animation is great. I feel like my favorite ones don't get nearly as much love from the rest of the community because my favorite is the fourth OP, which I made a song of the day recently. It's just phenomenal. It's so good. And then the last OP is good. The 11th one is, no, the 12th one? 12th one. The first one is good. I've discovered so many artists now because of the openings. I mean, I guess my eyelids are my eyelids are hooded enough to where it kind of just gets hidden. Let's just go with that. That's fine. But yeah, all the soundtracks, the openings are perfect and phenomenal, and they fit the show. They fit the tone really well. Just love it. But then the last one, this one I only started watching less than a week ago because I had been wanting to try some more slice of life and like shows targeted at a female demographic because so much of the ones that I'd watched have been shonen. Like, we watched Demon Slayer, which I've liked so far. There's not a whole lot. I mean, like, it's only one season, so far, so good. We watch Hunter x Hunter, which I've enjoyed, not as much as I would have expected based on, like, the kind of overwhelming, like, recommendation from people. Like, I didn't like it nearly as much as I thought I would. I don't dislike it. I dislike parts of it. Like I mentioned, I didn't like the Heaven's Arena arc, and Hisoka creeps me the fuck out. Like, I really don't like Hisoka, and I would prefer him not to be a villain because he just gives me super pervy vibes, and I don't like it. But I'd wanted to branch out and watch one that was more of a drama, one that was targeted more towards me, probably, realistically. Or at least me when I was a teenager. that is where Fruits Basket came in. This was one of the mangas that my friends read in high school that I very vividly remember them carrying around these books with them. And I had no idea what it was about, and I really didn't have much idea of what it was about when I started watching it. And based on the cover, based on the name, I was like, oh, this will be fun and lighthearted. It gets super dark, but I mean, I finished it in like 5 days. I had so many feels watching this show that I had not felt in a show in a long time. Like, just because it's a romance, and it's about like love, it's about romance, about family, it's about the main character is like a perfect angel of a person, and she comes upon and kind of becomes essentially a part of this like family, this group of people that are possessed by zodiac spirits, and you know, drama ensues, and it's so good. Oh my god, I get why it's a classic and why they remade it 20 years later, because they made it 20 years ago, back in 2001, but they only did, I think, the first season, like the up until when Kyo took his true form. But they remade it. They redid it 20 years later, and I didn't really have any sort of history of it. I didn't have any context of it, but when I was looking up stuff, because I've fallen down several internet rabbit holes now, I didn't realize when I first started watching it that the voice cast was the same voice cast that did it 20 years ago. At least many of the same people, with the English dubbed version, that it's the same people that are playing Toru and Kyo and Yuki and Shigure, and so many of the main characters have the same voice actors, which is just so cool, getting to hear the comparison between how they sounded 20 years ago, because some of the people were like late teens when they first did it, and now they're like almost 40 years old doing the same character 20 years later. It's amazing. Like, I felt so many feels, and I get why it was such a classic and why people were so excited to see it finally like finish and come to an end and finish out the story, because I saw so many people commenting on Twitter. It's like, I've been waiting 14 years for this. I've been waiting, like, this was the first anime that I watched when I was a kid, and like getting to finally experience the entire thing, I can imagine was just like so satisfying and emotional. I got emotional, and I didn't even watch the thing 20 years ago when it first came out. Like, I had no preconceived notion of what it was. The character relationship building and the mood and the feeling and the music and everything just made for like just a fucking roller coaster of emotions that I did not expect to go on, based on the fact that it was called Fruits Basket. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I'm glad that I did, because I finished it very quickly. And I remember I started watching it and I was like, oh, I'll watch this one to kind of like tide me over while I'm waiting for Black Clover to finish. No, I finished it in like a week. I finished it so fast. Oh, well, now I have 10 more weeks to wait for the rest of Black Clover. Cool. We'll obviously be finishing Demon Slayer pretty quickly, because that one only has one season, but Fruits Basket is such a beautiful show. Like, just the writing is beautiful. It's very complicated, very complex. There's definitely some things in it, like some relationships and things where I'm like, I don't know if that aged as well, but the main characters are just perfect. Because I didn't know who Toru was supposed to end up with at the end, and like, as I was watching it, I'm like, oh, like, she's definitely gonna end up with Kyo. They're perfect. They're perfect together. And lo and behold, that's how it ended. And it was just so beautiful and perfect. And it made me so emotional. Like, I was watching it at my desk at work, and I had to kind of like suppress tears, because I was like, oh, if I don't like consciously hold back tears, I will just be sobbing. And Josh and I were watching several of the episodes last night, which is why, again, I didn't film last night. I was watching the episodes for a second time, but I got to actually like feel all the feels and stuff, and it was just so emotional. Really? Is it's another garbage truck coming around? Is it the recycling truck now? Are you kidding me? Are you done yet? Please, car? Drive away. I'm gonna use this lip gloss that I got from Scrandy Beauty. It's like a small indie brand. They sent it to me in like PR a few months back. This one, what's this color called? I don't know what the color's called, but the lip gloss is called Lip Sauce, which I thought was cute. This one has a bit more pigment than I'm normally used to, but because it's like such a nude lip color, doesn't really bother me. What was I saying? Oh yeah, we were watching the episodes last night, and I just was able to like fully feel, and like the waterworks just started flowing, because it was just so emotional and so beautifully done and beautifully animated, and the characters are so well done, and the voice cast is so good. Oh my god. That was one where the main character, well, Kyo, his voice actor is the same guy that played Licht in Black Clover, and then Ayame is one of the elder Soma family members, is the same voice actor as Yami, but they could not be more different, and it's so funny. Like, listening to Ayame talk versus Yami talk, they're so different.
5 more minutes. Looks like I was right about that death wish.
But it just, again, shows you voice actors are magicians. Getting to see other people experience this show, finally coming to an end, however many years later from when they first watched it, and getting to hear the same voices do those characters too. Because I feel like that would just have like a totally different impact than having like new people voice these characters that you've become so attached to. Like having the same voices and the same people voice these characters that you loved for so long, I can imagine just like hits differently. And which is another reason why I don't want to finish Black Clover with the subtitled version, because it just won't affect me the same way. And I'll just rather wait and have the dubbed version come out and just watch it that way. All the ones I wanted to talk about? I think so. This was a very scattered video, I realized, but I wanted to talk about anime in a video because it's, like I said, it's all I've been consuming lately, and it's like what's on my mind a lot, just these shows that I've been watching and become attached to. So yeah, today's song of the day is Gamushara by Miyuna from Black Clover, the soundtrack. It's the 5th one, which I feel like is ridiculously underrated. I feel like it's never on the list of like people's favorite OPs when I look at comments. Yeah, that's your song of the day. If you know of any other shows that are like these ones that I've talked about that you think that I would like, there are definitely other ones that are on my list of ones to watch. Soul Eater is one that I'm planning on watching. That one's also short. We're gonna finish Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and then obviously we'll finish Demon Slayer, the one that's everything that's available to watch. And then I had a couple people mention Jujutsu Kaisen, which I don't know much about, but I had a lot of people recommend it to me. I feel like I've deprived myself of all of this for the last 2 decades of my life.
Why did I do that?
Yeah, like I said, please don't spoil Black Clover or Blue Exorcist in the comments, because those are ones I really, really do care about spoilers. The other ones I'm not as huge, like I don't really care much about like Hunter x Hunter spoilers or Demon Slayer really, because I mean there's not a lot to watch, so it's like there's only so much you could be spoiled. Yeah, those are the main ones that I really don't want to have spoiled for me. I will gladly take people's recommendations in the comments down below if there's ones that I didn't mention that you think that I would like. Basically, I just don't like super fan servicey ones when they're shonen anime, because it's not a fan service for an adult woman, it's a fan service for a teenage boy. So it's distracting for me and I don't like it. Yeah, this was a long ass novel of a video. But this was the look. This is the finished look. It was a relatively simple look. It just took me forever to get it right because I'm not good at this kind of liner. So maybe I'll get better at it. Hopefully I get better at it. Because normally the way I hold my brushes is like normally when I do eyeliner, I'm holding it up here. So I'm like, I have to get used to holding the eyeliner brush back here so that it's like a more kind of smooth application and stuff. So it's a learning experience for me. I'm learning a new makeup thing. It's been a while since I've had to learn a new makeup thing. I like how it turned out for sure. It's fun. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video somewhat. If you want to see more of me, please subscribe and then hit bell the notification to get notified when I upload new videos, which are Wednesdays and Saturdays as of right now. And if you do happen to watch this on a Saturday, I will be streaming on Twitch later today, probably playing some Sims, because that's most of what I do. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. All of those will be in the description, as well as what I put on my face, all the products that I used. Those will also be in the description. That's the end of the video. All right, thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye. Such a long video. Oh my god. I recorded for over an hour. Holy shit.